Alright, what's up guys? Running the Cajun built 572. Been a while since I run this saw and showed it. But it's honestly one of my favorite builds. I don't know that it's the fastest in medium-sized wood. You know, I've had faster saws, but he built this for torque, and the thing about it is it cuts steady, you know what I mean? It's not boggy, or if you hit a knot or get into tough wood or lean on it a little too hard, it don't fall on its face. That's what I like, you know, for these saws I work. Of course, high horsepower is good, but you know, I guess if you're racing and all that, but I like the torque. I've got a Buxton 562 coming, and one reason I went with that, he sent me the numbers on it, and it's making as much torque as like his ported 372 work build or whatever, and it's not far behind his 572s as far as torque. So, and I think he's putting out like 7.5 horse. You know, of course, that's a new saw, and I don't know how the muffler mod is. You probably could get a little more. If he does the muffler mod like he has in the past, you probably could get a little more by putting a pipe out the front or whatever, because normally he just modifies the top, and I don't know how this one will be done. I haven't got it yet. I'm waiting on it. But you know, that 462 that I had of Charles Briscoe's, it was like 7.5 horse. You know what I mean? So I don't know what the torque was on it or whatever. But to me, it could have 12 horsepower, you know, and if it falls on its face as soon as you lean on it, it does me no good, you know. I don't like having to baby a saw. I don't really care that, you know, of course, if you're cutting cookies and showing off, you know, like I've put this up against the 400C and done other things, and that's why I like Gary's 572 as well. It's pretty zippy and zingy, but it has good torque. So does Aaron's, you know what I mean? The 572. That's why I've kept those saws. But like that 309 machine and some other saws I've had. And even the 400s, they were real zingy, but they weren't quite like Cajun's as far as his was pretty peppy, zingy, but it was good torque all the way through the cut. Them saws may cut it on a little small piece of wood if you're babying it or whatever, which that's what, you know, watching a video, it don't really convey the torque on a saw. You don't really know how hard the person's leaning on it who's using it or whatever. So anyway, I know I've said that a million times, but it seems like time after time, you know, some keyboard warrior in the comments is bumping them gums. So anyway, let's get to cutting. That's enough mouthing. I've already done cut and split nearly a cord today. I'll say today, just I've been up here a couple hours, so a few hours, 3 hours, something like that. But I've been bucking and splitting them. I've got them painted. I've got a little stick that I carry around, but I don't like carrying that stick while I'm cutting, so I'd rather just go through, paint it real quick, and then come back and cut it. I have to worry about it. So anyway, let's get it. I could set y'all where y'all could see me cut. Because again, I don't have my daggum. I do not have my camera stand, so here I am in that debacle. But I'm not doing too bad this year on wood. I'm gonna try to sell a little more wood than I already have, or that I have in the past. I've got like, oh shit, I don't know. Got nearly 20 rig, which I've never been like what I would say, trying to find a place to sit y'all. What I would say a high just output firewood guy, you know. So I'm just using this old Husky flitter and all that kind of stuff. And it just kind of sucks. Just kind of is what it is. I know this is, I'm gonna have y'all jostled around so much. Oh yeah. I don't know where to put Ewins. Still having trouble trying to find a spot. I used to have a stick somewhere around here that I'd made into a camera holder, but lo and behold, I've done. And I'm not stacking my wood this year or piling it in one big pile. I've got it in cord stacks, and I've got it in one rick stacks. So that way I don't have to, I can just pull up to the pile and start loading or unloading or whatever that may be. I think that'd work. I could set something behind you to keep y'all from falling over. Get my old rattle can here. I'm gonna try to start making content. I'm gonna try to get a little more serious. I know I say this all the time, but I'm trying to get a little more serious about doing the YouTube thing, get my channel back growing. I grew pretty good the second year, and then I kind of, grandbaby come along, and I kind of laid off YouTube. But he's getting on up to the age now where he can come do stuff with me up here a little bit, and I'm gonna try to start getting back to videoing. That way I can start have YouTube help pay for all this saw stuff that I've been doing, you know. Nice cutting saw. Got in the ground a little bit there. But the train's not the best. I've been cutting the piles like this. This wood's been coming from a tree guy, another tree guy. He's been dropping it off. And so this is beech, and then what I call soft maple, water maple, something like that. Some sort of maple, but it ain't sugar maple. Of course, there's about 9,000 different kinds of maple. I dug the hell out of that chain. Dug that chain pretty good, pretty good. I don't know if I hit something in the tree or we got in the dirt. But anyway, I'm like an earthworm. I stay in the dirt more than anywhere. But you know, starting to get a little wood going here. Like I say, I'm trying to do, I'd like to do about 100 rick, maybe 200 rick, something like that. Depends on how it goes. Try to sell it for about 100 rick. See what that does. But anyway, there's a little, I hadn't showed that saw in a while, and I cut with it from time to time, sometimes not on video, but it's just a good all around nice torquey saw, and that's what I like. You know, the speed's nice, but I like the torque to come with it. You know, I don't like to, for me in a build, I don't like to compromise. I'd rather the saw have, if it's going to have anything, I'd rather have a little more torque than speed. You know, because I think they spin, you know, plenty fast enough from the factory. You know, 9,000, 10,000 RPMs, and if you can bump it up to get the torque and bump it up to 10.5 or 11 in the cut, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, anyway, without it, and like I say, without it falling on its face when you get in the big wood. Like I sucked that in on its dogs 2 or 3, 4 times, and it never once stopped the chain. And if that had been that 309 500, or I've had a couple others, and it would have just killed them out instantly. So anyway, we'll catch y'all later. I appreciate you, and maybe I'll get to making some more videos here before long. See y'all.